Hello, Robs. We're back with Frank Leslie's Christmas book, 1889 to 90. I believe this is chapter 14 of Bonny's Fortunes. I haven't really paid attention to these illustrations because most of them don't correspond with the current story. Chapter 14, The Great Concert. Bonny's project had failed, and Herr Bruder, in spite of his illness, resolved to play. He was carefully carried in and took his place on the platform. The applause that greeted Herr Bruder was so prolonged that he had to stand grasping the side of the big piano while he acknowledged it. Then he played a simple but beautiful melody, which touched the hearts of his hearers, and they were rapturous in their applause, and would have him back again and again, not realizing with what difficulty he had played for them. But the excitement was infectious, and he did more than he had at first intended, and delighted his hearers with some of the difficult music for playing which he was so famous. When it was over, the applause seemed as if it would never end, but Herr Bruder was exhausted. As soon as he could escape from their presence, he gladly turned away from the brilliant scene. When he reached home, he was worse than ever. The professor lay ill for many weeks, and the physician endeavored also to restore Bonny's hearing. He was very patient, but the poor child, and I don't know how to turn pages, had been overwrought. Brain fever set in, and poor Madame Bruder had her husband and Bonny to claim her attention. This left poor Lise very lonely and sad. Her uncle and Bonny sick, her aunt always engaged. The days were long and melancholy. Inquiries were made at the hotel every day as to the progress of the great violinist, and most of the guests came to the Bruders' private apartments every morning to hear the latest accounts. Among these were a lady and gentleman who had often talked to the children, and when Bonny was taken ill, noticed his absence. "Where's your little brother?" the lady asked. She was fair and delicate looking, and leaned heavily on her husband's arm. "He is very ill too," sobbed Lise. "That is sad for you," the lady said kindly. "Are you alone much?" "Yes, very often. My uncle is too ill for any one to be long with him, except my aunt, and I am not allowed to see Johann yet." "Dear me, that is very sad. Ask your aunt to allow you to come to our room. You do not mind, Robert, do you?" she asked her husband, a grave man of whom Lise felt more than half frightened. "Not at all. I shall be pleased to see the child," he replied. So Lise went down with these friends to dinner, and afterward to their room for the rest of the evening. Lise told them how kind and good the Herr Papa was, how everyone loved him, how beautifully he played, and how he had taught Johann. Then she went on to the concert, and they were interested when told how Johann wanted to play for the Herr, and how he had stood up before all the people and failed. "He is very fond of his father?" the gentleman inquired. "Oh, yes," Lise replied. "He will do anything for Herr Papa. Johann is not fond of many people, and he can be very disagreeable when he likes." And then Lise told them of the way he served the doctor a long time ago. "He did play beautifully," Lise went on. "Everyone said it was wonderful, but now he never touches his violin. Poor little fellow, it is very sad for him," the lady said. "I think it is dreadful," Lise said warmly. "I don't know what he will do when he gets well." "Little Johann is your cousin?" "Yes." "But both of you speak English as well as German. How is that?" "My father was English, and I lived in England till after my parents both died. Then Herr Papa brought me here. Johann had lived in England too, I think, when he was a baby." "Do you know," the lady said suddenly to Lise, "when we first saw him, he reminded us very strongly of a little boy we lost." "Did he die?" Lise asked sympathetically. "We do not know," the lady replied. "Don't you think Lise would like to come out a little while and see the shops lighted up?" the gentleman said quickly. "It is a beautiful evening. You might get her to choose a doll." "Just as she likes," the lady said languidly. "A little stroll would not hurt me, perhaps." And that's the end of that chapter. What was it called again? Oh, The Great Concert. All right, that's all, Brobs. Goodbye. Good boy.